Welcome to episode 96 of Fresh Air at 5. This week, you're getting a 2-for-1. That's a buy one, get one free. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's me being too busy and too chicken to get out in the really cold weather last week, but 1 week led into 2 weeks, and I didn't have enough content at the end of last week. So here you go. Here's more content for this week. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Cami Cannikins, as she was wondering if she missed it or if I'm okay and wondering those kinds of things. Well, yeah, I'm doing good now, but last week just didn't get out on my morning walk and didn't record. So that's all. Take a listen. Some good stuff in here. Have a happy day, and this is coming out on Remembrance Day 2022, lest we forget. Peace.
I'm Alfonso Mendoza, host of the My Ed Tech Life podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to Fresh Air at 5, the podcast. I'm your host, Brian Carpenter. Fresh Air at 5 is my regular attempt to exercise by walking about my neighborhood to take in podcast content, then reflect in an unedited video, which I finally post to my Twitter channel. This podcast will be a regular collection of the audio from these selfie videos. You can follow me on Twitter at FreshAir@5 or check out my website, briancarpenter.com, for other content I have created and collected. Hey, PLN, happy beginning of episode 96 of Fresh Air at 5. So as I'm out walking this morning, it's Tuesday morning, and yesterday I was just exhausted after the weekend. Couldn't get out of bed, and it was pouring rain. I spent Sunday out in the rain with my daughter in rugby, and I'm like, no, I'm not going out there again. And I didn't, so I stayed in bed and had a full day of working and renos and things like that. And Halloween. Yeah, we got ready for Halloween, and the kids came and handed out candy. It was fantastic. So yes, that was yesterday on October 31st. Today's November 1st, and this morning I pulled up, check this out, episode 152, as Ryan and Brian out of California brought us a deep dive from their fall Q experience. And Brian Briggs is the president of Q in California, and they had their fall Q conference, and it sounds fantastic, gents. I still need to come down to Cali and hang out with you guys at a conference. So that's in my books to do. Just have to have the opportunity to be right. Maybe spring Q. So that would be fun. As you guys deep dived into that, it's so important that after a conference, organizers sit down and debrief. You know, that's that reflection piece that educators need to do, and everybody needs to do, to figure out what was good, what was not good, and how we can do it better next time. So reflection is important. There we go. That's my quote for this morning. You guys got into Podcastle AI, and as far as a podcaster's tool for cleaning up podcasting, I'm going to dig into that with my 11s and 12s this year, looking at getting a Rodecaster Pro 2 with mics and stuff like that. So working on that. I'm going to check out some more Canva stuff. Been an Adobe Creative Cloud guy for a long time, and I'm changing my mind probably because Canva's coming like a buffalo. All right, got to check out the Pentaveret as well. Peace out, guys. I listened to the end. Okay, bye. Hey, PLN, Thursday, November 3, 2022. Happy Thursday to you. It's just above 0 degrees Celsius. That's just above freezing here where I am right now, and it is chilly out. Man, we got the fall real fast here. We were in a heat wave into mid-October, and then all of a sudden, bam, we had rain. It poured rain, and the ground got wet. That's good. And now it's dried up a bit, but we are cold. It's cold overnight, and we're getting into the, high teens in the daytime, so it's not bad, but yes, it is fall. It's turning to fall. All the leaves are changing color. Can't see them right now, but we got yellows and oranges, and it's absolutely beautiful. The maples are turning red, and it's just spectacular. So so this week, this is my second walk this week. It's Thursday. That's 4 days in, and I am just really, really tired. We've been dealing with a couple things. My wife's been away, and she returns this Sunday from her 42-day vacation where she went to Southeast Asia with a friend, and that has got to see some amazing things in Singapore and Thailand, Cambodia, and Phuket. That's where she's at just right now, and ready to head to Bangkok to fly home. And so I've been single dadding it with my 3 teenage kids. My son's oldest, he's out working, doesn't have to do a whole lot with him, but my girl's taking them to school and doing the dad thing and giving them hugs and doing all of it. So cooking. So that's been taking a toll on me. The renovation of our downstairs basement suite bathroom with my buddy who's a contractor, just working on that project and getting a new tenant in. So there's like lots of things outside of even school that's really full and really rich, but that's why I didn't walk yesterday. Just so tired, but I'm good today, feeling good, looking forward to going to school and teaching today. So yes. All right, that's the first segment here. As I'm walking this morning, I listened to the Tom Schimmer podcast with Tom Schimmer, and he had on guest Dave Schmittou. So catching up here in One More Thing, coming right up. Hang on. One more thing for November 3, 2022. The Tom Schimmer podcast, episode 88, has Tom bring it open with respectful engagement and disrespectful engagement, and talking about how we engage in a debate and how, what prompts us to toss out rules of, respectful engagement in a debate. And is it okay to do that? And, the one person of the debate gets out of hand and you just throw stuff back at them and be disrespectful back. Or, I like, Tom, what you had to say. It matters at the end of the day who you are and how you walk out of that situation, that battle. It's honorable. Is it honorable that you behaved a certain way? Can you sleep with yourself at night and know that you did your best and you are a good person because of that? We can have some disrespectful people think they're right, but can they sleep with themselves at night? That's my question. All right, so there you go. About disrespectful engagement. Tom talks with Dave Schmittou, Dr. Dave Schmittou out of Pensacola, Florida. And I got a chance to talk to Dave back in June with Jeff Gargas on a Wednesday afternoon brain break. And we sat down and we chatted, and it came around to fly fishing because that's what I like to do. And we talked about life and creativity and my podcast. And it was fantastic to sit down over a Zoom call with Dave and Jeff. And that's recorded. You can go find that on the Teach Better Team's YouTube channel if you want to hear that conversation. But the point is, I got to hang out and talk with Dave Schmittou. Appreciate our time that we had, Dave, for that short little bit. And yes, your book, Poking the Bear, it's about educational leadership and how do we walk into awkward conversations and think about the other person's perspective. It's challenging to be open-minded these days about somebody else's point of view and even changing our mind and how that is perceived as weakness, but it's not. It's about evolution and it's about growth. So being mindful about those things. All right, that's all I got. We'll talk to you. Have a fabulous day and talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, PLN Monday, November 7, 2022. Welcome to Monday. And for those of you that follow me on the daily, you'd be expecting to hear the start of a new podcast recording week. And well, I'm going to say that this week, that's not going to happen. Last week was a sporadic showing by Carpenter, and I've got my reasons. And on the previous segment in the podcast, if you're listening to episode 96, you'll hear me talk about those reasons. It was pouring rain, really cold, and I didn't feel like going out, or I was super tired. This week, I'm going to include my recordings from this week in last week's release that should have come out last Friday night, but they will come out this coming Friday night. All right, so since that's happened, what's going on with Carpenter? Well, my wife is back from her 42-day vacation to Southeast Asia. She went and saw a number of countries. She's back. Picked her up from the airport yesterday. She came from 30 degrees Celsius with about 65-70% humidity back to Vancouver, and we had 1 degree Celsius and snowflakes falling as we came through Delta. Yep, she'll here. So she's home. Glad to have her home. My kids are glad to have her home. Friends are as well. And that's the big news going on in Carpenter's life right now. All right, in this segment of my morning walk, it's about 1 degree Celsius out. Wearing a toque, wearing gloves, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be out here. But I've got a couple of podcasts that I'm going to listen to today, and I'm going to share one of them with you in one more thing coming right up. So hang on. One more thing for November 7, 2022. Walking, I listened to episode 212 of the House of Ed Tech with Chris Nessie. And Chris, thanks so much for bringing us yet another episode of your podcast. Fantastic in my ears. You challenge us, you inspire us, you ask us to just give it a try, because it's not hard. You just have to give it a try. And well, I do. I'm trying lots of things. And yes, the Chrome extension you mentioned called Scribe, I'm going to check that out, because that's about making tutorials within the Chrome browser. I wonder, is that available in Edge? Got to look into that, because I'm moving in that direction, and I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. Yeah, so there's that, and you brought us some news from Twitter about the blue check mark, and how much does it cost to get the blue check mark? You're not going to pay for it, you said, Chris, but I don't know. Would it make me a little bit better? Dr. Snooze and the Sneeches. Yes, the gold stars. All right, so your main segment was about EdTech selection in schools, and do those that make EdTech decisions give a care about what teachers think? That's not the title, but I can't say that here, because yeah, well, there's a little bit of a bleep in there, and Chris, you had the bleep, not the word. And so the question is, do those uppers that make the decisions because of funding, etc., and being able to pay and subscribe for the big picture to EdTech, care what the little people think? We're going through a transition in my district right now, because it came from head office that our district is moving into Microsoft Teams for class, and getting out of Google Classroom and Google Suite for Education, Google Workspace. So that happened last May, and there has been a disturbance in the force. Why? Because, well, we got free student accounts with our Microsoft stuff, so why don't we just use that instead of Google? And okay, there's more to it than that, but I'm living that dream right now. Okay, gotta go. I'll be right back. One more thing for November 7, 2022. This is part 2 as I continue my thoughts on episode 212 of the House of Ed Tech with Chris Nessie. And he asked the question of, do schools, districts, and those that make decisions about ed tech in your districts care what teachers think? And we're going through this transition from Google to Microsoft. And on the big picture, from my perspective as a teacher, nope. As a perspective of most of the teachers in our district, nope. And so I'm saying it right here that sometimes things are forced on us and we have to comply and figure out how to do it. I'm part of a pilot project that is working on understanding the integration of Microsoft into the things that we do in our district. How can we have student accounts and such things like that? I am close to those that have the capacity to affect student accounts and make some changes. But am I even being heard? I don't know. There's some challenges that we face, things that we're looking at with Microsoft, and it's the changes. Yes, the changes. Little things. Can teachers use the little things? We've got the capacity to use the little things in our districts and have parents sign off on us students using those things, which is great. But what about the big things? Also, our learning management system, we as a school have decided to go in onto the Brightspace platform because we need to move forward. It's part of our provincial online schools application. That Brightspace by D2L is our learning management system. But yet again, where is the teacher consultation in making these big sweeping decisions by organizations beyond where we are? Even my school is needing to comply and go along, and we are part of a pilot providing feedback. Okay, that's what I got. I said it out here. Wonder if anybody in my district or nearby has heard what I've had to say. Talk to you. Bye. The last thing for November 7, 2022, as I'm wrapping up here, I listened to episode 211 of House of Ed Tech. Chris, we got a twofer this week because I didn't listen last week and got to get caught up and get the news, get the goods, get the down low about what is happening in ed tech and things that you're thinking about. So, hey, I appreciate you sharing your Chrome extensions and how to save tab groups. That's awesome. How to search tabs, doing things like that. And the utility of those is that we are learning to use our browser tools beyond just simply searching the internet and accessing web apps. They are powerful tools. Microsoft Edge has some of the capacity that Chrome does. We can bring in extensions into Microsoft Edge and super power our browsers so that we can use them for lots of great things. So, I agree about Chrome extensions, but as I just said, Google's going away in my district, so we're going to need to get out of Chrome because students won't be able to use Chrome for school stuff because they won't have Google district accounts. Yes, about your main idea here, as you in episode 211, you talked about EdTech success is inside of you, and you talked about how technology integration is a mindset as looking at the tools that you want to try and want to use and how they work and how they maybe don't work. Good morning, Amy. And so as we are looking at technology, how do we try things out? How do we have an open mind and to find things? And if we don't try lots of things, we won't know that what works for us and what doesn't work. If we have our 5 tools only in our tool belt and don't look beyond those things and pay attention to what others are saying, then we won't grow and possibly swap out a significant tool that we use. All right, that's it. Chris, hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And have a fabulous Monday to all of you out there. Peace. Bye. Hey, PLN, Wednesday, November 9, 2022, coming to you from minus 2 degrees Celsius, Abbotsford. The wind has been blowing for a better part of 3 days, and it makes it really chilly outside. I don't live in the rest of North America where you guys are already experiencing the deep freeze, but where I live, this is pretty cold for us. Affects how we do things outside because we don't have our boots on the ready and we don't have our winter coats on the ready and things like that. So yeah, it's chilly, but it's okay. It's all good. It's nice that we have clear skies. The moon is full right now above me, and Orion's in the sky, and it's not raining. So a year ago at this time, we had the big flood happen here in the Sumas Valley, and that is past now for that time, that anniversary of the year, and thankful that we have not had flooding this year. So, okay, moving on. I have listened to episode 124 of Got Tech, the podcast with Eric and Nick, as they bring us the 7 commandments for making personalized learning better in your classroom with ed tech. That's not the title. It's very similar to that. But it's not the 7 laws, but this is 7 spaces that Eric and Nick bring to us about getting to know your students, assessment, having goal setting, other items and things like that that are important for you growing your learners in your classroom. And we have students and teachers, those are given roles, but do we have learners? And what's it take to grow a learner? It takes a lot of teachers being willing to try things and be open-minded and model learning themselves. It's partly why I do what I do here, is so that I can say, hey, you know what? I did listen to a podcast. I did do this. As you guys move through the episode, you brought us a number of ed tech tools at the end to fit into a number of categories. Take a listen, people. This is gold, as it always is. And thank you, Eric and Nick. Have a great day, guys. It's Remembrance Day here on Friday. We're doing Remembrance Day Assembly at school today. Peace out. Happy day. Bye-bye. One more thing for November 9, 2022. Just listen to the Inspired Teacher, episode 61 with Mike Brilla. And Mike brings us a lesson from history as he reflects on a podcast that he's listening to about this day in history. And you'll have to go to the show notes of episode 61 of The Inspired Educator to catch what that is, because I can't remember right now. But the point is that on September 8th, there was a governor in Louisiana that got a shot and died 2 days later. And while he was in the process of being in the hospital, he says, "Don't let me die. I got so much to do." And Mike brings that around and says, you know, what's that got to do with you and me today? We're not politicians, but how are we living our lives? Are we living them to the full? Are we doing things that we want to do today, or are we putting them off till tomorrow because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? Yes, you know, do today what you can and make the best of what you've got, because you don't know how tomorrow's going to shake out. So, yeah, I'm walking today because I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll see. Unless it's really, really junk, I will probably be out here. All right, I hope you're having a fab day. We'll talk to you, and take care, and peace. Bye. Hey, PLN, it is Thursday, November 10, 2022, out for fresh air at 5, later than 5. We're around 9 o'clock a.m. Today is a Pro D day, and to clear the air right away, I'm not skipping. I did some Pro D in the summer, and the district gave us a day in lieu if we did that during the summer. So I've got my day off today, so I'm thankful for that. Got some things to do around the house. I'm probably going to dig into some Canva Pro D because I just listened to some fantastic news that's going on with Canva.com. So I listened to episode 13 of the EdTech News Briefs, and Jake, you should call us the briefest, because we listen to the briefest of things and gain a wealth of knowledge from that. So we are the briefest, maybe? I don't know. So I don't know. That's the thing. On this episode, Jake brings us some updates about Canva, and that you can edit PDFs within Canva. Fantastic. So that's kind of a nifty, cool thing. I don't think it's probably Acrobat DC Pro, but then you don't have to pay that kind of money for tools to edit PDFs. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to looking into that. You talked about Google and some features in Google Gmail for making like newsletter type things and enhanced graphics within Gmail, and also individual mailouts so that it looks like you're kind of doing a mail merge, and that's a feature in Gmail. Later on in the episode, you talk again about Canva and about the video editor and being able to remove backgrounds from videos. Oh, now you got my attention. I haven't dabbled with Canva recently much because I'm a Adobe Spark guy, and I'm not going to let the spark die, but I got to get in Canva, take a look. So got to figure out how to get my students in there. That's been a bit of a struggle. But I'll tell you, with the changes going on right now in our district with the technology, it's hard to get excited about outside of Microsoft and Brightspace learning. So that's what I've been doing. All right, have a fabulous day. Peace. Bye. Okay, the last thing for November 10, 2022. I listened to EdTech News Briefs, episode 13, and I missed a segment that Jake talked with one of the developers or people that's responsible for a web app, an app called Focusable. And you can go to getfocusable.com, and it's supposed to be a tool that helps you go from distracted mindset to focused mindset to flow mindset. I was so psyched when I heard, I can't remember her name, Sarah maybe, talking about distracted to focused and then to the state of, and I'm like, flow. And I got it before she said it, so that was rad. Because flow is so important. I love to get into flow, but I can focus sometimes, but then I get distracted before I achieve the state of flow, as Daniel Pink, I believe, in his book talked about. Okay, maybe not Daniel Pink. I can't remember, but the author. But that's where the ideas come from. Okay, that's all I got. Now I'm hanging up. See, Jake, nice to see you, and I like your dad joke about the oyster. Peace. Bye. Hey, PLN, November 11th, 2022. It's Remembrance Day today, and later today I'm going to pause and remember those who have passed and sacrificed so much so that I can live in a beautiful place like this. I'm out in British Columbia, Victoria, BC, here on the coast, and came out for a leisure trip with my wife, and we are just here for a couple of days, and then we're going to be going back to home after this. So a little getaway. It's been very nice to be able to spend some time with her and be away. Yes, so here we are, and I went for a walk to go get coffee over there, somewhere over there from Starbucks, and heading back to the hotel now. So I want to tell you about an episode of Evolving with Gratitude. I think it's episode 29 or 30. It'll be correct in the tweet, in my show notes from Lainey Rowell as she talks with Andrew Easton, who is an educator, teacher, and has stepped out of the classroom. Now he is an educational consultant and has written a book called Empowered to Choose, growing students in their own personalized learning. And this episode of Evolving with Gratitude is called Relentlessly Honoring Spin, and what that's students' spin, students' strengths, preferences, interests, and needs. And so I'm excited to possibly take a look at your book, Andrew, in the future. I'm not making any promises today, but it's another one to go into my watch list and pay attention to as I grow in my practice of providing choice for students. That is a thing to do. You give them a choice board, and this is what you guys talked about. You give them a choice board and then the open-ended last choice of and anything else. And students typically will default to something that is easy to them as opposed to something that is challenging to them. And how do we grow them in their choice and also grow them in their strengths, but challenging them. So that's the conundrum and the challenge. All right, that's all for today. And shout out to Cam Mechanicans for wondering where episode 96 is. Here it is, and here's the end of it. Peace out. Bye-bye. As my one word for 2021 is appreciate, I appreciate you giving me a listen as I've created this podcast experience for you. It's a unique Blinkist or Coles Notes version of the content I take in, like a highlight reel, so that you can hopefully find other interesting podcasts you may not have considered before. I've recorded the specific podcast episodes in the show notes for your learning convenience. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And if you enjoy this podcast and its format, share it with someone else. Tweet about your experience or give it a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Fresh Air at 5 can also be found on Voice Ed Radio. Your voice is right here, and on the Education Podcast Network, Podcasts for Educators, Podcasts by Educators. I hope you have a fantastic day and get some fresh air before the day is out, and take care of yourself because you're worth it.